Hello dear, it's Heather, and you're watching Save Today with Heather J. I'm somebody who spent her entire adult life living paycheck to paycheck and being one life event away from financial crisis. I created this channel as a way to hold myself accountable and make sure I stick to the budget. I am somebody who finds budgeting to be very discouraging. I feel like there's never enough money to do the fun things I want to do. And I make a lot of bad decisions that impact my finances. I've discussed them in some of my videos, some of my mentalities and the choices I make, and some of the behaviors I'm trying desperately to change. And so I need to focus on the positive because it's very easy to get dragged down in the negative. Anytime we as human beings make a bad choice, do something that turns out to be not the right thing, we're very, very hard on ourselves. And I'm as guilty of that as anybody else. It's very easy to bring myself down and beat myself up and just quit and give up. And I'm not good enough and I can't do this. It's not working. And so I have decided to do a month in review at the end of each month and look at all of the positives. I spend video after video after video looking at all of the difficult things and beating myself up for some of the bad choices that I've made in that month and for not being where I so desperately want to be instantly. So I do a month in review. I do a look back. I look at all of the good things that came out of the struggles and the challenges each month, because every time we go through hard times, there are benefits. We just have to look for them. That old phrase, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, oftentimes holds true for all of the different things in our lives. And that is the case for me. I'm going through some very difficult times in trying to get my debts and budget caught up, but also things are moving very, very quickly. And where I was when I started this channel in May is already very different now. So we close out August. That would not have been possible if it weren't for the budget and the struggle and the challenges and the fighting through all of that. So today is my August month in review, the positive double check, just all of the good things that came from that. I did make some notes. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. And, you know, again, it's very easy to focus on all of the negative and it's very hard to find the positive. So sitting down and writing that out for myself definitely helps. So I've got some notes over here to the side that I'm going to be referring to as we talk today. So some of the good things that came out of my August was I'm all caught up on my utilities. I had gotten a little bit behind as we played the game at the end of June and pretty much all through the July with the challenges that were really just slamming me. I got a little bit behind on my utilities and on my phone, and I'm completely caught up on my utilities as of this month, and I'm almost caught up with the phone. This month, I got 3 of my old debt taken care of. When I initially set up my debts and desires way back in May and in June, I was kind of estimating and writing in pencil on the side when I thought I might get some of these old debts paid off. And I had initially written just 2 for the month of August. That was the old rent and the Banner Health bill. Those 2 I had estimated, hopefully I would get those done in July. And the AR strat, hopefully I would get done, I said that wrong, in August. I thought I was going to get the old rent and Banner Health. And then in September, I was hoping I would maybe get to the AR strat and to the, whatever that last one is that's sitting on there. I'm going to remember what it is as soon as I'm done recording. But I was able to get one of those paid ahead that did come at a cost, but I pushed myself really hard to get through that. And so I just have one more thing, the toll roads. That's the last thing that's on there. I just have the toll roads to take care of in September, and then I get to focus exclusively on my student loans, and student loan payments become due in October. And in October, I am in line to be focused just on that. That's so exciting. Student loan debt has always been like an impossible possibility to get that paid off. And it looks like I'm in line to get that started right away when that starts. And that's fantastic for me. What else did I do in the month of August? I did finally go online and cancel the 2 insurances I had on my devices on my phone. One was for my phone, and one insurance was for the tablet. I canceled both of those on my T-Mobile bill, and in doing so, I dropped, right now it's an estimate, so it's really hard to say. It's looking like I dropped my bill by about $30 a month. I am not yet set up to be able to put that in auto pay, because I do have one more payment arrangement set in place. Once that payment arrangement is paid, I can get that bill set up in auto pay, and once that bill is set up in auto pay, that will be another reduction in that bill. So I finally got that done, and so that is going to be helping me moving forward by lowering that bill. Let's see, what other positive things? Well, I did go 2 entire weeks without any dining out. For me, that's a huge challenge. That is a lifetime of behaviors. That's my biggest challenge. That's my biggest number one behavior change I need to work on. And I did go 2 weeks. For some of you, that's not a big deal. For me, that's a huge deal. As I was looking back, because initially I thought that was the first time I had gone 2 entire weeks without dining out, but I do see that back in June, for me, June was a 3 paycheck month, a 6 weeks. So that last paycheck in June, the last 2 weeks, so week 5 and 6 of June, it does look like I also had a 2-week stretch there where I didn't eat out at all. That's phenomenal. That's huge for me. I'd like to get to the point where I'm maybe only eating out once or twice a month. And I'd like to get to the point where those dining out are planned meals out, so I can schedule in, I plan on going out to this restaurant at this pay period because of this thing. I'd like to be able to get to the point of planning that. I'd like to be able to get to the point of going to a better quality place and ultimately spending less in dining out than I currently am. But 2 solid weeks without doing any dining out, and not really having to fight my desire to want to go out. That has been in the past when I've been able to, like, ooh, I went the whole week. It's because I've had to fight myself so hard because I want to go, and I can't go. And that wasn't really the case these last 2 weeks. Have I briefly thought, I would like to go order a sandwich for lunch? Yeah, I've thought that, but it hasn't been like 4 hours on my brain and fighting myself so hard. So that was significantly easier to go 2 weeks than it had been. Perhaps that's because I'm coming off of quite the binge spend in that department when, 3 weeks ago I went way overboard. But I'm happy with 2 weeks of not dining out. Another thing that happened is, once again this month, my credit score went up. It went up by 6 points in the month of August. And so from when I started in May till when I close out in August, my credit score has gone up by 24 points. I'm still very much a poor credit risk. I'm very much in the poor section, but I'm slowly climbing further up and getting to fair. So that's heading in the right direction each month. And so that's great. I am going to be watching that monthly. That is very important to me to get back into good credit standing. I was there once. It was a very lovely place to be. What does it go from poor to fair to good to very good to excellent? Anyway, I want to get back up there again. What else? I did get all of my videos out this month, even though I started out fairly late. And that is good for me. I could have, and in the past would have, given up on the budgeting when things got as tight as they did. I did have to take a break, but it wasn't a break because of not wanting to do the budget, because I was still behind the scenes checking my account and doing the things I needed to do. My YouTube break was because of surgery and recovery and not having the dedicated time to set up all of the camera equipment. It was related to being alone in the house. So that was where that break came from. But once I was able to get back on schedule, I posted every single video in the order they need to happen. And that for me is a win. To not have combined any of the videos and to not have given up or skipped anything and just been like that. For me, that's a win. What else? Then the only thing I have here in regards to that is I was hoping I could record and post every single day. It is fairly difficult for me to record on the weekends. I don't really have any consistent time I can plan for that. So I'm thinking, and this is just me processing out loud, I'm thinking I may do my recording kind of Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday, when I'm less likely to be able to set up and record, I may use those days to kind of respond to comments. I have not responded to any comments while I've been playing this game of catch up because I've been extra busy with getting all the extra videos out, but also because I've been extra busy with the other household stuff. Now that I have all of my possessions here, I'm in the process of unpacking and inventorying my possessions, and that takes extra time. And then I also want the time to be able to do the projects I'm working on in the back, and I'm having to find ways to balance the current competition for my time. Once all the boxes are unpacked, that of course is no longer something that's taking my time. But now that I have my possessions and I have all of my supplies, I will be wanting to spend more time working on these projects and things because I have an entire backlog of things that I haven't been able to work on, and that's where I want to spend my time. So that's just kind of a thinking out loud of where and how, because your guys' comments are very, very important to me, and I haven't been able to respond to them in the way that I would like to. I do still intend to go all the way back and respond to each of those that I haven't been able to get to, and in some cases those are going to be responses that are 3 and 4 weeks after the fact. But it's important for me to acknowledge you, not just here in this one video that you may or may not see, but also individually. There will come a time that might not always be possible, but it is possible now, and it's so important to me. I can't tell you how excited I get when I get a notification that I have a comment, and I thank you so much. And some of you are so incredibly consistent and so incredibly positive, and you do make a huge difference for myself. And even the couple of comments I've gotten that I have felt were a little negative, even those help me. I wish that they didn't have some of the negative tone that I perceive in those couple of comments, but they help me to evaluate some of what I'm doing. And so that's good. I need those, and I still get excited for them. And at no point have I said, I don't even want to check. It might be negative. So that's been good. I did go back and kind of check some of my YouTube information and what's positive about that. I had started in May and in June and really gone and checked how many videos did I post, how many comments were getting, and I was kind of documenting all of that. And that has become difficult for me to go back and check because it isn't part of YouTube's analytics. But it's very important to me to acknowledge those comments and videos. So the things that YouTube tracks that I feel are kind of positive things, perhaps, are my viewers are getting into larger age ranges, which I find interesting, and to other countries. So I'm now getting viewers in the age range of 25 to 34, 35 to 44, and 55 to 64, and 65 over. I don't have any viewers at this point in time that are 45 to 54, which I think is kind of interesting that that's where the demographic sits. And then I do have, of course, the majority of my viewers are all women, and majority of my viewers are all in the United States, but there are a couple of male viewers, and there are a couple of viewers from Germany, India, and the United Kingdom, which fascinates me, that anybody from any other country might be watching what I'm doing way over here. But really, none of that is really the thing that's important. The thing that's important is my engagement with you and my consistency in posting. This channel and you guys have definitely made it to where I have been able to push past the area I had not been able to push past at any other point in the past. So I thank you for that. Let's see, outside of budgeting, outside of YouTube, what other positives happened in the month of August? I have begun my unpacking, which is a good thing. I have my sewing table built. I have all of my shelves built. I have access to all of my machines, some of which would need to still be serviced in order to be usable. I have several projects completed. Well, in the month of August, this is the project that is completed, and this project has been in my head for probably 4 or 5 years. It wasn't something I had ever made a priority, but I wanted to do. So this got out of my head, got into real life, and that is good. And I think that is the positives that have come out for me at the end of August. As far as what my project for September goes, I did kind of go looking to see what I might end up doing for the month of September, because I didn't really have any, I absolutely want to do this thing next. So I went looking, and there's 3 different projects I could pull out. I have a pattern and fabric pulled aside, as well as a specialty ruler pulled aside to do a Halloween wall hanging. To do that in the month of September would be an appropriate time to do that and get that done so that it would be available for decoration in October. I'm not really at a stage right now where I'm putting up Halloween decorations. However, Halloween is my favorite holiday to decorate for. Christmas is my favorite holiday, but as far as decorations go, I really like the Halloween decorations. But I have been too transitionary the last several years to pull out any of my Halloween decor. I don't even know where most of it's at. So I could work on that Halloween project and get that out of my to-do list. And I definitely have fabric for backing. I definitely have batting for that. It's definitely small enough that I could do that on the machines I have here. I'm just not feeling a particularly strong drive to get that done now. There is a beach bag I'd like to do out of some mesh material. I had taken a class at one point to learn a technique, and I made a single just panel which I wanted to turn into a pocket for a beach bag. I have the mesh now to do the beach bag. And I really would like to get that done. That's another thing. That one's been in my head for probably 9 or 10 years. Can we sense a theme here? And I'd like to get that one done. However, I don't have the nylon straps that I would need to create the handles for that. And if I worked on that project, if I set that up, I would absolutely have to go purchase the nylon strapping for that. I just don't have anything here that mimics that well. So I don't really want to put that into September because I wasn't wanting to have to put any money in my art category this month. I don't think that, because I'm still not completely caught up. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth and make my decision on that. I did find my millinery fabric, or not fabric, but my millinery supplies. I haven't found my hats yet. I have one hat head. I have some of the doodads and whatsits that need to go on there as far as lace and flowers and whatever to go around the hat band. But I haven't found my hats yet. And so if I can find the one hat I'd like to work on in the next 24 to 48 hours, then I'd really like to work on that. That's a project that very much excites me. I just don't know if I can find which box out of the probably 200 are still left to unpack that could potentially be in. So if I can find that, that's what I'd really like to do. But I don't know that finding that hat is going to be the thing that happens for me. So we will see. But that's where I'm at. I have caught up all of my utilities. I have paid 3 of the old debts that had been weighing heavily on my mind. And one of those, I believe the AR Strat, was one that I wasn't even aware I had when I set up my budget in May. That showed up for me in June and was able to be taken care of in August. So that is fantastic for me. I am most definitely headed in the right direction very, very quickly, much faster than I ever thought possible, much faster than I had in the past. And I'm feeling so blessed for that. I'm really feeling like once we get out of September, once we get into October. Oh, the other thing I did was I did finally go online to my student loan provider. I don't know if they're my provider, whoever is holding my current student loan. And I just went online and I kind of looked, and it looks like the payment they expect from me is very, very low. And I believe they give you that low amount, assuming it's going to take you 10 years to pay that off. I'm obviously going to have to be looking more and reaching out as we go through September, but I might be able to set that up within my budget to perhaps have that paid off in 2 years. That seems like a huge stretch, but so far, without actually talking to anybody and having anything really legitimate in my hand, so far it looks like that payment amount, the minimum required amount, is so low that I don't think that that is going to in any way be not doable. And anything above that could go to principal and bring that down even faster. I have to find out how those rules work. I have to talk to somebody else and find out what all that looks like. And maybe I'm back on YouTube searching out some of those people who are professionals who do know how these things work and looking at what, I don't want to say the rules are, but what the best practices are to get your premium paid down quickly, to get the most amount onto that principal, not premium, so that your daily interest is less. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm done. That's all of the positive things. They've been very, very positive, and I am feeling a huge sigh of relief to see that things are very, very close to being out of debt. very close to being out of debt when I thought that was completely impossible when I was February, March, April, as I was beginning to really work myself up to the idea of this budget and this channel. So that is huge relief for me and takes so much weight off my shoulders. But that's where I'm at. That was my month in review. Lots of positive things came out of August. Couple of less than stellar things happened as well, and that's my own fault, my own poor choices. But even with that, look at how much good came from that. So much good. I thank you guys so much for your encouragement. I thank you so much for everybody who's here and hasn't reached out to say anything, because that's definitely how I watch YouTube videos. I love my channels. I love the people I watch, but I very, very rarely reach out. I'm much too introverted for that. So I thank every one of you, those who are leaving comments and those who are just watching. I thank you so much for being here on this journey and for being my reason to get through the hard times. Thank you. Wherever you are today, whatever it is you're doing, please have some fun. Bye-bye now.